One of the
Chris,
people
he's
here.
never going to be president of the United States again?
Well, I've said over and over again that he can't win a general election. And that's not speculation. That's based upon the polling that I was privy to pre the 2020 election. And what we saw actually happen in the 2020 election. And it's only gotten worse since then.
What's up, everybody? Major retired Richard Ojeda here. And loser, loser, loser. Yes, for once, Chris Christie is exactly right. Donald Trump's legacy since day one has been losing. The scale of his losses are so unprecedented that he even had to coin his own word to describe them, and nobody can deny that Trump is for sure the bigliest loser of all time.
Then add to it what you saw happen in 2022. The election deniers losing across the country. Bad candidates like Mastriano in Pennsylvania dragging the entire Pennsylvania ticket down in a historic way. Kerry Lake, Blake Masters, Tim Michaels, Tudor Jones. We could go through the entire list. Loser, 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 loser. And I think Republicans are recognizing that.
The sad thing is, this is the only reason Republicans are willing to turn away from Donald Trump. Not because he's corrupt to the core, not because he turned public office into a cesspool of criminality, not because he tried to delete democracy and install a fascist dictatorship, but only because he can't win an election and his fascist ploys failed to succeed.
Part of the problem, I don't think there's any question in my mind, that hurt Republicans all over, is Donald Trump.
Some were also knuckleheads with strange beliefs and closets full of problems. Many of these remarkably weak candidates came courtesy of Donald Trump.
There's a very high correlation between MAGA candidates and big losses.
A true leader understands that it's time to step off the stage.
Going into 2024, the Republicans are going to be looking for candidates who are focused on winning, not just making a point or settling a score.
We have a tremendous opportunity going forward. Donald Trump should not be a part of that. I just wish he would ride off into the sunset.
Had Trump's fake elector scheme worked, Chris Christie would be on bent knee kissing the dictator's ring. Had the pack of rabid Neanderthals sacked the Capitol and killed America, Chris Christie would be singing the lyrics to All Hail Trump. And had all the election deniers seized power in Secretary of State offices, Chris Christie would right now be advocating that the Constitution be torn up and America submit before the fascist empire. Because decent people took a stand and prevented these things from happening, Chris Christie and all the other Republican apologists now just play coy and make their little bets on the horse races. They hope that the mangy orange nag doesn't lead the pack, turning the final corner. But if he does, they'll go all in and rewind the tape coddling him, praising the greatness of the bigliest loser businessman of all time.
If the voters conclude that you're putting your own ego or your own grudges ahead of what's good for the country, they're going to look elsewhere, period.
Governor DeSantis is the biggest single winner of the night, and he will almost certainly become the rallying point for everybody in the Republican Party who wants to move beyond President Trump.
I mean, I think Trump's kind of a drag on our ticket. I think Donald Trump gives us problems politically.
Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror.
It was just a couple of months ago when Chris Christie was asked if he could ever vote for Trump again, and he said he didn't know, and that he absolutely would vote for Trump if he didn't like the candidate against him in the general election. So there you go, folks. Chris Christie acknowledges he'll kill America and choose fascism if it suits his own pocketbook. Typical Republican, to hell with society if I get my 10% cut and the short-term financial returns are sound. So when these jackaloons start rallying around their favorite horses in the 2024 race, just make sure you never forget who their golden cow was and what it is now. They will ditch truth, they will ditch facts, and they will ditch the foundational principles of this country, even the Constitution itself, if it suits their personal gain, and no person like that should ever sniff public office. Period. So while Donald Trump himself is floundering towards the dustbin of history to be swept away in irrelevance, Trumpism is a poison still pumping through the veins of the MAGA GOP. It's an incurable ailment, and its effect is total mental derangement. Just study the specimens of Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, and Ron DeSantis, and you'll see the symptoms of this incurable disease. Whoever the GOP puts up to lead their little crime family in 2024 is no doubt going to be every bit the miserable fascist that Mango Mussolini was. That means Republicans, we've got to make a stand sooner than later. Drop a note in the comments who you think is the next biggest threat to democracy and is lusting after the GOP's worship in 2024. Because the fact is, there is nobody left in that party that is anything more than a yes man to Trumpism or a clone to the orange parasite himself. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.